Welcome to Let's Weld Something. I'm your host, Bob Moffitt.
And I am Daniel.
Daniel.
AKA Fokker Fabs.
Thank you very much. Fokker
Yes, sir.
Fab. Been following you for a while. Talked to you a couple of times. First time we meet is this evening.
It absolutely
Honored, sir.
is.
I'm honored, really. What's this for?
That is for tightening things.
I think this is for putting oxyacetylene rig together, don't you?
I think we should.
You did a great job setting all this up. We're setting this this Let's Weld Something lab together here at the Blue Demon Weld Material Supply Sales, or welding material sales. I'm sorry.
Welding
Blue
material
Demon.
sales. Headquarters.
Headquarters in Chicago, Illinois.
Yes, sir.
This will be a lab for experiments and collabs and doing all kinds of cool, fun stuff. But since we're putting all together, we need to put together oxyacetylene. Fine folks at Flame Tech.
All right.
Nothing in there that I need right away.
Okay.
And they wouldn't let me fly with my knife today, so.
They stole my knife, so.
PSA, you gotta love them. Here.
We do have one right here, though.
Interested in the regulators right off the bat. All right, does it matter? Does it matter which one of these we hook up or turn on first?
I was told that it does matter, but everybody has their own opinion on that, from what I've heard.
Everybody has their opinion.
Yep.
Well, so how were you told?
I was told that acetylene gets hooked up first.
Why?
I don't know.
And you believe them? I still don't have a knife. That's new. You did short work of that.
Sir, I have a knife.
Oh man, that's tight. All right, I need to spin this, and this is too tight. Do I put the cap back on it? I'll be in control. I just need to turn it a little bit,
Okay.
so I can get it out here to put the regulator on.
Okay, and then you want to...
Dust this, so to speak.
Okay. Get everything out of it?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
What happened to the
T-nut.
handle there?
Let's see if we can locate that T-nut.
I'm gonna have to turn this some more.
Here is your diaphragm nut.
2 left-hand threads in the weld shop. What are they on? One of them's on fuel gases. What's the other one on?
Your TIG welder.
Correct. That's the old power
Yes, sir.
cable. All right, put that on there. I'll turn it some more. Should have looked at that configuration prior to. There we go. Now, let's get this guy on here.
Okay.
I'm going to dust this one as well. I haven't. When I say dusting, let's get the big spiders out there.
Yeah, the big spiders that clog the line. Or the tip.
Where I live, we've got the big old red wasps, hornets like to camp out up inside those caps. Oh my goodness.
They're not to spin that one too?
Yeah, we're going to turn that like that.
Okay.
All right, now, crescent wrench.
Geometric adjustable.
Metric adjustable 7/8 gangly wrench here, huh? You know, these are going to move a lot. Some of these regulators, you put them on here, they move quite a bit. Some of them don't move at all. Notice that? This one's going to move quite a bit. I like to seat things, so to speak. They just need to be seated, not over tightened.
Okay.
Now,
Next, your hose.
I got a question to ask you.
Okay. I might have an answer for this question.
Ask you a question. Do you separate and braid? You ever separated and braided your hoses?
No, I never have.
Never?
Only on my TIG torch. That is the only thing I do it on.
Why not your oxyacetylene?
Because
you don't use your oxyacetylene very much.
No.
That's interesting. It really is. We need to talk about that quite a bit.
Technology's kind of
Can I
changed
use
the
the
industry.
small one there for this? Delicate. Thank you, sir.
There you go, sir.
Indeed. All right. What's next?
Next would be torch body onto the leads or onto the hose?
Yeah, let's.
Or do you want to take the kinks out
We
of
need
it?
a good hot day. I'm gonna
All right.
walk over here by the camera guy. We need to stretch these babies out. Get some memory out of them. You'll lay these out on a hot pavement sometime and
Let them stretch.
get them straightened out.
Yep.
But here's what I like to do. Do you have a zip tie anywhere?
We do.
You're a kind of a cool guy, aren't you? I'm gonna take this back about 1.5 feet or so.
Okay.
We'll take this back about 1.5 feet. I'm gonna separate them.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you hang on to that. And I'm gonna give them a nice little tavis. They seem to be softer in your hand when you go to do cuts where you're doing circles around corners, whatever. Now, run that puppy around there. There's a way you can run it around there and keep them all together.
And then,
Nice. We're about done here.
a God's
believe it or
gift.
not. One very important thing we need to do, and that's called leak check.
Okay.
I always ask my students, I get a kick out of this too. I always ask my students, how many of you smelled oxygen? And I'll get 2 or 3 of them that'll raise their hand. What's oxygen smell like? Is there a difference between medical oxygen and the oxygen that you breathe here or that you get here?
I do not know.
No.
No.
Sticker. Threads on here are a little stiff, my man. I like quick disconnects. It keeps the weekend warriors out of your stuff, you know. Lock everything up. All right.
All right.
We can't leak check yet, can we? Sure we can. We don't need the head on there, do we?
No. You can
Okay.
shut the valves down.
All right, so how do we do that? Again, it gets back to that, which one do you turn on first? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It can't matter. Okay, it's just, I'm gonna make sure both these are closed. I'll make sure these are backed off. I don't have a habit of standing in front of them.
Yeah.
We'll point them toward the camera guys over there. I like to turn cylinders on slow,
Yes.
real slow, especially the high pressure gases. One complete turn, open all the way on high pressure oxygen or any high pressure cylinder, open it all the way. You can feel it bump, it's a needle valve, you're done. It's good. Okay? Now, got 225 normal for a cylinder like that. What do we have here?
That one right there looks like 1500 or 2300 psi.
Should be 2250 about.
Yeah, it's about
You're reading the
2200.
PSI
Yeah.
down here. The outside scale is going to be
Yep.
the metric or the
It's about 2200.
kilopascals. So PSI, we got a little over 2000. Which one do you respect more?
That one right there with your
I
hand
do
up.
too.
Yep.
I do too. We open this one complete turn or 3/4 to one turn, and everybody says, so you can shut it off real quick.
Yep.
I'd rather be able to shut the oxygen off real quick. I mean, violent, complete combustion. Okay, can you light it? No.
No.
It supports combustion though,
It
right?
is. Yes, sir.
In the presence of hydrocarbons, I mean, it's just instantaneous and it's over with. So in order to pressure the system and check for leaks without using any kind of a soapy leak check, we simply do this. We've got a full cylinder or we have
Yep.
pressure on the pressure side, the tank side. Let's just add 5 PSI
Okay.
of acetylene and 20 PSI or thereabouts over here. Okay,
Awesome.
I just guessed.
Awesome.
Can we check for leaks now?
We can.
Sure. All you gotta do is turn the system off. You have it pressured, and we just turn the system off and tighten those Goodness, that's a stiff old codger like me. There we go. Now, do we have a good system? If a needle is moving anywhere, we have a leak.
We have a leak.
Somewhere in the system. Where's the leak? We're not going to be able to smell it if it's oxygen side, right? Acetylene stinks.
Smells like eggs.
Yep, it's bad. I've had people that have not smelled acetylene, but they've smelled oxygen. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, that is.
I'll go over and give them a nice little whiff of the acetylene. They back right off. So if we had a leak somewhere, then we'd have to find it, and we'd go out and use the soapy water. And I've actually found leaks up in here more than probably these days more than anywhere else right there.
Yes, because the bottle's
Isn't that
old.
something?
Yep.
I've also seen little fires blowing out right here while we're working. Never want to see that. Always want to turn them off quickly. So we don't have a leak in the system anywhere. We're good. We can go ahead and put the torch head on here.
Okay.
We can open these back up. We don't need to back this off, do we?
No.
Shouldn't. I don't. If I'm wrong, I don't. I've been operating it that way safely.
I do bleed
For
the
years?
diaphragms off after when I shut them down, though.
Huh?
I will shut the bottle off and back these out all the way, and then bleed the gas out of the diaphragms to save the valves.
You just told the old man something that
Okay.
You can't do it that way.
Okay. Explain why, please.
Well, you can't back them off and then bleed them
Through the torch.
through anything.
Okay.
I mean, whether I had this on there or not, you can't. You got to turn them off and then bleed them and then back them off.
Okay.
And I'll show you why here in just a second. How am I going to cut with that? I don't have a tipper.
Here's a tip right here.
We'll do one cylinder. You're what you said, and I'll do one cylinder. I always like to inspect these for dings and scratches. Years ago, when I started contracting, I bought 2 sets of tips, triple aught through 3, and then I had a couple of specialty tips in it. I thought, I'll go through them a little bit. And I've seen these made. It's fascinating how they're made. 12 years later, I still have the same set of tips except for 1, 2. I dig them up because if I put them on the table and they roll off, they're just too hot when I take them out of there. Can't put them in my pocket. I scratch these up or ding them right here.
Yeah.
This I can take care of out here. I can save a nasty looking tip.
Okay.
It's a little bit of work, but this side over here, I don't have any way, unless I'm doing it with a mill file by hand, whatever, I can't get them to reseat. And we'll go through that too, because that's very important. I put these on here and give them a little half twist or quarter twist here, just to kind of feel it. And then I put them on there. Now this one here this is where the seating thing becomes very important. I just seated that. That's it. That's all I need to do, really.
Much pressure.
Never, ever put a wrench on this right here. I wish they would have made this round and knurled or something instead of. You don't put a wrench on this.
Okay.
You don't need to put a wrench on this. Got both valve closed down here. The reason why we don't put a wrench on this, you collapse these O-rings in here. It's not good. It's not sexy.
Yep.
You don't want to collapse those.
Yep.
Now here's what everybody does. Here's human mentality. We got a leak. We're operating the torch. We got a little backfire. We got a little leak. You hear a pop, and then we got a little flame farting out of the threads up here. What's the first thing most people do? Grab a wrench and tighten it, right? That's not what you want to do. You want to do just the opposite of that. You want to loosen that up and inspect it and look at it and see why it's. But I hand tighten those. And this is a personal preference. I like my valves down.
Okay.
These are stiff enough; they're not going to move around hardly. We have this combination setup going on here. I'm going to open this oxygen valve all the way. I have to have that oxygen
all the way
to operate.
Yep.
My cutting, my flame, and my cutting. Okay. So we'll turn the acetylene on, light the torch, add our oxygen to get a neutral flame. Okay. But before we get to that point, we want to discuss this. What you said a second ago, how you close the system down at the end of the day, or you're going on lunch or whatever. We want to shut the cylinders off, right?
Yes, sir.
We did that.
Yep, it's off.
And you said
back
these off.
Bleed
right?
it and back it.
Huh?
Bleed it and then back it.
No, you said back it off and then bleed it.
Back it and then bleed it.
Now, which one was it?
Back it and then bleed it.
Okay, so let's back it off. Only one side of this is going to bleed off. Now, how do you want to do it? You want to open this, or you want to do the lever? They both do the same thing.
Yeah, they do the same thing. So I just
okay. So I'm going to open the valve.
Yes, sir.
And only one side bled off.
So you got to open up.
The high pressure, huh?
The high pressure side bled off.
No. The delivery side bled off. The high pressure side is still up.
Still active.
So, this one's off. What happened here? Oh, that's just, okay, that's reading 5 pounds.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
so
what we set it to check
this
pressure.
one's off. I'm going to bleed the system.
Now
Now
it's bleeding
both of those needles fell.
Yeah, because this diaphragm's now, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, you have to bleed it, and then you back this off. And when you back it off, you just need to loosen it or so it doesn't have a lot of tension on it. But here's what happens. There's some confusion going on here with, lefty, righty, tighty, all this. If we're tightening this, we're turning it to the right to close the bottle, right? We're turning this to the left to loosen it, but that's not what some people think. Apparently, they'll close this, they'll crank this thing down to the right a long way. What'd they just do?
They increased the pressure.
They just activated the diaphragm, so when they walk up here and open it the next time,
it's going to be wide open.
It's going to be wide open. There's a reason that this doesn't have any marks on it past 15 PSI.
You're not supposed to have it
I don't want to be around, you know?
Yep, right.
I mean, I just cringe when I see that. And I see it a lot these days, more so than I used to. So, the only way to get this right
bleed
now
off is to take it in.
Is to pressure it a little bit. You'll see them move.
Yep, there you go.
And then either hit the lever or the valve. And it's done. It's down to 0. And then we back it off to the left, loosen it. And I don't know. I see that more and more, and it's a concern. It's that awareness. Safety's an attitude.
It is.
It's an awareness of what's going on around you. And you're working in a shop sometimes. It is so loud you can't hear anything running. You can't tell if the oxygen was left on. You can't tell if the track torch is left. I can't hear it running. So you have to know. You have to be aware of what's going on. Make sure this is loose.
Loose.
Doesn't matter which one we open. Yep. We could open them simultaneously.
This one goes all the way open.
And we'll go open all the way. One full turn. Do you have a striker handy?
We do.
We go 5 PSI. I'm going to go our 20 or 25 so. All right. Now, got this open all the way. This is closed. That's closed. Oxygen and acetylene at the same time. You let that happen in your classes?
No.
I don't either.
No.
That is like, I don't want to hear it. If I hear that sharp pop, I know somebody's doing a quick start, and there's all butt chewing going on. I don't like that a bit. We want to turn the acetylene on enough that
there you go.
Give me a trick. You give me a trick lighter.
I did.
I like to have this where there's no smoke coming off of it.
Yep.
But the flame is still separated, still connected to the tip. By the way, we can get this up here where
there you go.
We turn that on enough where the flame is separated from the tip, and a lot of times when we add the oxygen, we just lose it all. But I'll turn this back where it's going to go out.
Yep.
Connected, no smoke. We don't want soot boogers floating through there. And then sometimes when you turn these on, if they haven't been run for a long time or first time like this one, it has air in the hose. Take a while for that oxygen to get through there and settle down. Now, 3 flames associated with oxyacetylene. Carburizing, unburnt fuel gas, sometimes called reducing for your chemistry fans. Neutral flame. Neutral flame tested by adding the oxygen in the cut.
Yep.
And oxidizing flame. There's a purpose for all of them.
Okay.
There's a purpose for all of them. And I'll tell you that you'll use the neutral flame most 99% of the time. I'm turning that down, actually. I'm turning it down here. So we've got about 6 PSI. We need to be up to about 30. That's a good cut condition right there. You see the oxygen getting down through there. It's concentrated, concentric, I should say. How do you turn the torch off?
Oxygen first, and then acetylene.
Okay. Yeah, and here's an argument. I mean, you'll have some people that just swear you just snuff it out by turning the fuel gas off. I do both. I do this more so than any other. I turn the oxygen off first, and then I turn this acetylene off. If you hear a pop, you know you have a leak somewhere.
Yeah.
And I got that from somebody that repaired equipment. That was his living. And he said that is the correct way to do that. Turn the oxygen off first, then the acetylene. Okay. All right, so let's review.
Let's go.
We have a pressured up system. We can cut with it. We can open it up, light the torch. Here's what I was talking about earlier. I don't want to hear that in my shop. I just don't want to hear it. That pisses me off quickly. Yeah, it's not, I don't think that's cool. All right, now we need to shut this system down.
Okay.
For the night or for the day or for the week or for whatever, you know, or for break. But we need to shut it down. By the way, I've gone on break, lunch break, and come back and get ready to do some cutting, did some layout, open the acetylene, and there's a flame going. I didn't need the striker, it was already going. So apparently it was laying there all during lunch period.
Little tiny flame.
A little tiny flame going.
Tiny leak going on.
Thank God for flashback arresters and backflow. Anyway, so we're going to shut everything down. What do we do?
We're going to shut the high pressure bottle off first.
Okay.
All the way off.
Well, I could have shut this one off first also.
You could have.
Just want to make sure they're shut. Seated, shut.
Okay.
Now, from that point, I want to bleed the entire system. I'll turn that. It doesn't matter which one you bleed.
Yep.
Bleed them both. Come on, you can do it.
She's coming down. There she goes.
There it is.
There.
Mine's done, so I'm going to turn this to the left a little bit. Doesn't take a whole lot.
Yep.
Now, I've seen people run these. They open them up, and it's like they leave them there for a lifetime. They never do anything with their. They never back them off. They don't do anything with them. They leave them out there in the sun and the rain, and it's bad. I don't believe in that. I think you got to work that regulator diaphragm, and I think you need to relax it as well.
You have to relieve the
pressure. How many times have you seen you're cutting and you shut your acetylene off and you see this needle start climbing? That makes me nervous. Yeah. That's a creeper. It's bleeding by.
It's bleeding by.
You need to take that out of service and go get it taken care of. Not cool. So we're going to take this apart, and we've bled the system down. We want to secure everything. Now, if we were going to use this as a heating nozzle, we'd simply take the cutting nozzle off,
and just
put this on,
and turn it into a rosebud.
And turn it into a welding or heating nozzle, and we're operating the flame right here. That's all it is. I have all three sizes of these. Actually, I have a jeweler's torch, or had access to a jeweler's torch. The flame is small enough, I think you'd pluck one of your hairs and put it down inside the orifice.
Really?
Yeah, the number one and number two had diamonds in them, I believe, or jewels, super tiny, very tiny. Jewelers would get in there and do some silver soldering and some fine soldering. So now what do? We got this off, bled. We want to wrap the hoses up in some fashion.
Yes, sir.
I like to put them in here where they're relaxed, not dragging the floor. There's that memory.
And I don't like wrapping them tight. That's my biggest thing is when people come up and just wrap them really. But I don't like them on the floor.
I think we're going to have to do a modification here on the cart.
Yep.
Maybe come up and do something out of those tubes there.
Yeah.
I know what those tubes are for, but we don't use them for that anymore. There you go. How about that?
Yep.
And then
set it straight down in.
I can set that rascal down in there where it's flat and the threads aren't getting dinged up. Also, keeping the caps with the cylinders. You wouldn't believe what a big deal that is these days. These truck drivers are getting dinged. They're getting fined big time.
Well, and also the welding supply stores.
If they're hauling a cylinder that doesn't have a cap on it,
yep.
Oh my goodness, they can get fined big time. And then they get it back to the owner. Wow, they really get dinged.
Yeah.
So what else? Is that it?
That's it.
Thank everyone.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Learned something new today. So
what's that?
How to properly set up an oxyacetylene setup.
Yeah, you said something, the old man caught it, huh?
Yeah.
I don't let too much of that stuff slide by.
That's good.
I'm not dead yet. Yeah. I still catch it. Hey, what are these for?
Those are for cleaning the tips out.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
They are. We'll get into that another day.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching, folks. Please subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitter, and what other platforms are out there?
OnlyFans.
There you go.
There we go.
Thank you, folks.
Yep.